Hello there, welcome back. Our top stories this hour. Pakistan promises to hand over an Indian pilot shot down in the continuing dispute over Kashmir. After the summit, we assess the reaction in North Korea after talks between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump broke down. The future of Hungary's ruling Fidesz party. Letters are sent to the leaders of Europe's largest political grouping, demanding the expulsion of Viktor Orban's group. Olivier Silva has this report.
Loud demonstrations in Pakistan. Both sides accuse the other of breaching a ceasefire and no sign yet of any de-escalation of hostilities. Abinadan Vardaman has been shown on TV looking bruised and confused.
We will then further make an...
But India remains on high alert to respond to what defines as a possible provocation of Islamabad, who claim responsibility for the attack. Pakistan dismissed the attack as a failure. Islamabad said it shot down a jet fighter.
Could always veto that resolution, but that would be somewhat of embarrassment for him. Something to look for in the next 48 hours. We'll look to see whether or not the U.S. actually talks about restarting those military exercises with South Korea.
Repeatedly about the need to write a new history of relations between the US and North Korea and to end the decades-long, decades of what it called characterized by antagonism and mistrust. So this is very much the way that the North Koreans see this whole issue, as came out in that Singapore declaration. First and foremost for them, it is building trust with the US, turning around the relationship, so overcoming what has been 70 years since the Korean War, where the narrative here has been very much anti-American and trying to turn all of that hostility into friendship. The other things which are the priorities for the Americans, like denuclearization, actually come further down the list for the North Koreans.
And John Bolton is a very hawkish figure, and he has a long history of basically arguing that North Korea, Libya, and Syria, and Iran, and so on are implacable enemies of the United States to some extent, especially with his political base, which remains very loyal to him in a number of regards.
Okay, Professor Inderjeet Parmar, thank you very much for sharing your analysis with us this morning. Well, don't go anywhere because still to come here on Good Morning Europe, the European political threat to Hungary's Viktor Orban, who's found himself sidelined by his European political counterparts. And as the climate heats up, European students are not backing down. The Fridays for Future Climate
and a deep industry knowledge so that we can become a trusted partner for the digital transformation of our plants. This is our automatic work control system. It works with passport and electronic ID readers combined with multifunctional biometric recognition. It's a way we achieve fast, efficient, and very safe identification of the passengers.
This is just some of the extraordinary innovation at this year's MWC19 Barcelona.
Ez egy példátlan boszorkányüldözés, aminek
Welcome back to the newsroom. Well, Viktor Orban is facing renewed calls for his expulsion from the largest political grouping in the European Parliament. That's the European People's Party, also known as the EPP. Now, the Hungarian Prime Minister and his Fidesz party are being sidelined after they launched an aggressive campaign for May's European elections that targets the current European President, Jean-Claude Juncker, who he himself is a member of that very group, the European People's Party. So for more on this war of words between Brussels and Budapest, we're joined by our Brussels correspondent, Shona Murray. Good morning, Shona. Thanks so much for speaking to us here this morning. Now, this is not the first time we've seen such tension between Viktor Orban and the rest of his colleagues in the European People's Party, but it's never really gone so far as such a stark letter being said to Joseph Daul, the head of the Socialists. What's brought this about, essentially?
Yeah, good morning, Maeve. Well, I suppose you have to kind of go back around 9, 10 years when Fidesz and Viktor Orban first came into conflict, I guess, with the EU and his own party, the EPP. And it was about the policies he's imposing in his own country, Hungary. His ironclad position when it came to the media, the judiciary, his criticism of gay people. He was criticised at the time for pursuing anti-European policies. Fast forward to 2015 and he refused point blank to cooperate in dealing with the migrant crisis when Angela Merkel and the Germans were allowing Syrian refugees come into the European Union to protect their lives. Viktor Orban put up borders and he used quite derogatory language against Muslim refugees. And now it appears that he may have gone too far. He engaged in a political campaign in Hungary and targeted Jean-Claude Juncker, the President of the European Commission, alongside George Soros. So we have now almost a critical mass of people within his party, the European People's Party's political grouping, who are looking to table a motion to expel Fidesz from the EPP. You need 7 parties from 5 member states. So far, they're officially around 4 or 5, so it looks as if the 7 could get over the line, and the EPP could vote on this then in March 20th, the next time they meet.
And that means their 12 MEPs would be left to look elsewhere, perhaps joining the European Conservative and Reformists, a more right political party there in the Parliament. But meanwhile, the European Commission has been fighting back, if you like, with their own campaign. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I think it's a very important point you made just there, Maeve, though, as well. The reason why there's a bit of resistance within the EPP to expel Fidesz is because they have 12 MEPs, and if you were to remove those 12 MEPs, or the ones that they could gain in the European Parliament elections, it actually diminishes the strength of the EPP within the political party, so there's concerns about that. Also, if you do ask Fidesz to leave and expel them, where will they go next? Will they join a stronger, more anti-migrant political grouping, and then disrupt really the nature of the European Parliament? But just to your point and your question there, the European Commission now this week has launched a counter-campaign, essentially rejecting all the claims that Viktor Orban has been made against Jean-Claude Juncker and the European Commission, including things like the fact that the EU may be trying to undermine a member state's ability to protect their borders. So war of words intensifying for sure.
Okay, Shona Marie, thank you so much for your analysis. But stay with us here on Good Morning Europe, because still to come, no school without climate action. That's the message now from Hamburg, Germany, as the city